So, hello, my name is Artez, and welcome back to Insure Your Success podcast. And today I have a very special guest, but not only she's a special guest, she's a close friend of mine. And when I think about entrepreneurs, she's one of the first people that comes to mind. She's an OG in the game. And I don't give that title to anyone because she is one that definitely talks the talk and walk the walk. You know, a lot of people just talk the talk, but very few walk the walk on this journey of entrepreneurship. So, with that being said, I like to introduce a close friend of mine. We've been on this entrepreneurship journey together, Miss Trace Godoy. Welcome to Insure Your Success podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tiz. And I appreciate you. I'm just following your footsteps because you're definitely the principle of talking the talk and walking the walk yourself. You have much success, and I watched you along the way and just followed in your footsteps.
I appreciate that. And congratulations.
Thank
You're
you.
getting married. I see that
I
nice ring
am.
on your finger, and I did get my invitation, so I will be on the front row. So congratulations.
Yes.
So you all, she's already spoken for. So
Yes.
don't get in my DMs asking me, you know, who she is and how can you contact her. She's already spoken for.
Yes.
So congratulations
Thank you.
on that. So I want to jump in, just kind of jump right into it. And today we're gonna talk about what you do, which I know you're a specialist in AI. So you know AI is a big conversation right now, and we gonna get into that about what you do and how you could help other businesses. But first, I want to start out by you just introducing yourself, saying a little bit about you, where you from, and just tell us a little bit about who Trace is.
Okay. Well, I'm from Honduras, La Ceiba. I was born and raised there. Then my family moved to the States. We first journeyed to New York. From New York, we went to Miami and then we settled in New Orleans. And in New Orleans, I was raised there. I went to school there. I went to elementary. Then I went to middle school, Gregory. I went to high school, was Warren Eastern, went to some college there, etc. And then was pretty much moved on and then settled here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. And for those of y'all don't know, when you meet someone from New Orleans, or when we meet someone from New Orleans, the first thing a person is going to ask you, and it's really like a test to see if you're really from New Orleans, they're going to ask you what school you went to and who your people is. And so that's why y'all heard her say, I went to Gregory for junior high, went to Warren Easton. And so when you meet someone from New Orleans, or when we meet other people from New Orleans, that's just kind of a thing here that us New Orleans do, right? So if you from New Orleans, you gonna get that question asked to you, and if you don't answer it right, we gonna say, nah, you ain't really from the NOLA. So um, so let's talk. You know, tell me a little bit about, you know, you was born in Honduras, and then your family migrated from Honduras to New York, stayed there for a little bit, then you kind of migrated to Miami and then New Orleans. Talk about a little bit about your upbringing, you know, in New Orleans.
Well, my upbringing in New Orleans, a lot of people don't know, is that New Orleans, while there, we have a big Honduran community in New Orleans because of the port there. A lot of people were already of Honduran descent. So I had both cultures coming up. I had my Honduran culture where we was still, our community was, we always gather on the weekends and still connected with one another there, as well as I had my friends that I went to school with during the week. So my mom made sure that I had both cultures coming up and stayed grounded within my roots because a lot of people from Honduras, because of the Standard Fruit Company, have background in New Orleans. So we have a big Honduran community within New Orleans growing up. So I came up with both cultures. I never lost it.
Never lost it. Now, both cultures are really rich, right?
Yes.
Rich, very rich cultures. Um, what are some of the similarities in the two cultures?
The similarities is that a lot of people also don't know I'm mulata. So all that means is that similar to Creole, I'm mixed. So my dad is Spaniard, my mom is black. She's African. Well, she's black, Hispanic. So just like Creole, we have black, French, Spanish, all mixed in one.
Like a big pot of gumbo.
Big pot of gumbo. So that all same in Hispanic culture, we're mulattas. So we're just all mixed as well. So that's me as well. So we're very both rich in culture with us, and that's why our complexities are all mixed as well.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know they had a big a Honduran community in New Orleans. You know, never really knew that. So you taught me something about my city as well. So fast forward it, you in high school. How was that when you kind of got into high school? Uh, what was your experience? In high school.
Um, in high school, my experience with my culture or
Just culture,
culture.
just usually in high school, we begin to think about what we want to be in life, and so tell us a little bit about that.
Well,
About
in
your
high
mindset.
school, I my high school experience was a little bit different because I've always had a little bit more mature experience in high school. I've always like I was a freshman hanging out with seniors. Um, in high school, I did a lot of activities. I was on the dance team, and I actually skipped uh, I skipped my junior year in high school. So as opposed to 4 years, I had 3 years in high school due to academics. So I always had a goal to just go to school, do what I had to do, and get out. Because I've always believed in academics. That was something that my mom instilled in us. We had to get our grades. We had to do, learn education. That's something in the Hispanic community that we have to get done was education. So that's one of the reasons why I was able to skip a grade in high school. So I always knew that I had to get my academics done first, then activities and beyond. So high school was good for me.
It's still for you. So real discipline, real
Yeah,
discipline.
very
So
disciplined.
your discipline started kind of early, which is a key element in entrepreneurship. So after high school, did you go to college?
Yes, not right away. I started college, but then I had a slight setback because my daughter, um, as well, her father basically was deceased. So, although I started the journey, I took a break because of he passed away. So, it set me back a little of my journey. I had aspirations to become an attorney.
Mm.
That was my first instinct, and then I had to just scale back.
Scale back and take care
I had,
take care of my niece Brooke.
yeah,
Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to Brooke.
yeah,
Wonderful young lady there that you raised, wonderful daughter.
yeah.
And it's a FYI, Brooke is the backbone of my business. So thank you for lending Brooke to me. Appreciate that. So shout out Brookie.
Yeah.
Yes. So you went out of high school, was got
I,
pregnant
yeah.
at that time. Okay, had Brooke, was kind of had to scale back a little bit. Had an unfortunate incident,
Uh-huh.
kind of putting the college on hold,
Oh,
and then you kind of went, but you finished. I think did you finish or did you?
yes. I
Okay.
wound up finishing. I started college. My first semester, I was attending school. I was had registered at Tulane. Was gonna go for my first semester there, and then the tragedy happened. So then I had to withdraw. And so eventually I went back and I wound up finishing in business administration. That was my bachelor's eventually. It took some time though. It wasn't like right away. Yeah, I eventually went back to school after, you know, uh, some years. It wasn't right away because I had to work.
Mm.
I had Brooks, so I had some time off. I had to take a break to get my mind right after that because I needed to know, well, now what am I going to do? After this big 360 of my life because I just thought I was going to go to college, going to be an attorney, had my set. That was my first engagement to be married, had my life together, and bam, but now it's a 360. So I had to reset. What am I going to do now with myself and my life and my new baby? And I'm a single mom now. So just had to reset and readjust myself and rebuild my mindset. And I had to go into single mom survival mode. So just took some time and my mom's instilled in me as she always does. Hey, you have to live. You have to survive and you have to build your life, not just for you anymore, but for you and your daughter. And from that road, it's just been me and you, kid. And I've been that mindset ever since. Nothing's gonna stop me because I have to live not just for me anymore, it's for me and my daughter. And that's been the spirit of nothing will stop me.
And nothing will stop you. Yes, and you have been living that spirit, right? So, and it's something because in most entrepreneurs, it's a something typically happens in our life to kind of alter us in that direction. Because most of us we don't uh inspire to be entrepreneurs at an early age. At least our generation, we was taught to go get education, get a job for the most part. But typically something happens in our lives that make us kind of points us or lead us to that entrepreneurship journey. So let's talk a little bit about you had this going on. So what made you start to pivot or look at entrepreneurship? Because of course you eventually went to college, you got your degree, you was working. But what was that moment when you said, you know what? I need to take a look at this entrepreneur thing. We know what as they say in the streets, what made you jump off the porch, as they say in the streets, right? But what made you say, know what? I think I want to take my destiny in my own hand because you have no problem getting the job, probably obviously. I mean, you get a job like that. But what made you say, you know what, I want to look at another option. I want to take a look at that entrepreneur option. What was that spark? What was that first spark?
Well, to be honest, it was my mother. Because I come from a family of entrepreneurships. In
Right,
Honduras, my family all owned their own business.
right.
And my mom coming here, she had her own cleaning service. So
Okay.
I saw that growing up. And although I went to college and school, and that's what I was taught, get a job to get a good education. And I did that. I got my education. I went to corporate. But when I was working in corporate, I had a payroll job. And that was it. That's exactly what you're asking for. I worked in payroll. And at a young age, I was about 22, 23, is when I was like, I was the payroll coordinator for a multi-million-dollar company, and it was here in Atlanta, to be honest with you. And I'd rather not say the name because it was a very, I admired the company, and it was one of the wealthiest Black company in Atlanta in the construction industry at the time, and it's one of our admired companies. There's nothing against the company, but what I do know, because most corporations do this, as the payroll coordinator, I used to cut severance checks for people before they knew they had to be let go.
Oh, wow.
And they were my friends. And I worked, and they would work 9 to 5 long hours. And that's what taught me that lesson. I never wanted to be in that position. I said, I never want to be in a position where I'm working these long hours for somebody else and the rug is pulled from under me. I want to always be in a position where I'm jumping off the rug
Mm.
and I have my options. And that's my key word because I used to tell my friends, because, work, when I came here to Atlanta, I was by myself. So my corporate friends became my family. And that's the lesson that taught me that I'm here working this corporate job, but I really need to work for myself because they're here working long hours. I mean, really giving their all, working beyond 9 to 5, and they don't know they're about to let them
About to let
go
them go.
in a month.
Wow.
And this is after years of service. And they're here past 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. And so that taught me a lesson that I don't want that. I don't ever want to be in that position. And I never forgot that. I
Wow.
never forgot that. And I was at that age and I said, that will never happen to me.
Wow.
And that's what even sparked that spirit more in me than anything else, and reminded me my mom hustled and she made her own, and so can I, and I'm never going to have that happen to me, and I'm going to learn how to have my own.
Wow. 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 So let me rewind this here, right? So at an early age, you learned discipline because
Mhm.
you finished school kind of ahead of your class. Then, of course, you got pregnant and had a tragic incident with Brooke's father, your fiance at the time. He passed away, and you had to go into single mom survival mode. So that kind of sparked your work ethic, even though you had that work ethic growing up and that discipline. And then you was able to experience something most people don't get to experience. You got to see the behind the curtain of corporate America. You got to really see that these people are dedicating their life, their service, their time, coming in there every day, coming in there early, staying late, and not knowing in the next 30 days you about to receive a severance package or a pink slip saying we got to let you go.
Mhm. After years of dedicated service.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 It reminded of it. That reminds me of a personal situation that really, when I had to say I know I got to be an entrepreneur, when I was working at the shipyards in New Orleans. And I could just remember being on a tall scaffold and the foreman calling me down and say, here go your severance package and we have to let you go. And it just, it really, that was my first time really ever being laid off. And I say, I never let that happen to me again. So
Yeah.
wow, but you got to see it before it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I know that's tough. So what so you kind of got into that mindset saying, hey, I don't want to be in this situation again. That kind of sparked the entrepreneur journey. So what was your first entrepreneur experience? So you say, hey, I know I don't want to be like this. So what was the first thing that you gravitated toward when you decided, hey, I gotta find something to do because I don't want to be one of these people, getting this peak slip or this severance package. So what was your first business opportunity?
Well, my first venture, I was living here in Atlanta. So I must say we live in the mecca of network marketing.
Yes, we do.
So back then, it was, if my memory serves me correctly, ACN.
Okay.
So that's what it was back then. And that's what I was introduced to, if my memory serves me correctly, of what I started to. But it was the whole concept of network marketing itself
Right.
that I like, not necessarily just the company, but the concept.
Concept of it.
Yeah. And I guess now today, what I would say is I like more than anything else of entrepreneurship. And I tell people, working for corporate America, having a job is not the problem. I like options. So that's a key word for me. And that's what entrepreneurship gives you. It gives you options and opportunity. And that's a slogan of mine. I help people create options and opportunity.
Options and opportunities. I like that. So let's talk a little bit about network marketing because I think it gets a more of a bad rep.
It does.
And you got bad actors in everything,
In
even
everything.
in corporate America, in network marketing, in business,
In sales.
in sales. I mean, you have bad actors everywhere. Like myself, my first introduction to business, I didn't know when I was 10 years old. My New Orleans accent started to come out there. selling my grandmother pralines and pies. But I didn't know I was, that was, at the time, I didn't know that was entrepreneurship. But my first, I guess, me knowing it was entrepreneurship was network marketing. And I could really say it was an overall good experience. Network marketing opened up my eyes to personal development. I didn't know anything about personal development, reading books, books like Think and Grow Rich and those various books that I have read that have been instrumental in my life. I didn't know that. Network marketing opened up my eyes to meeting people of different cultures, different races, different religion backgrounds. Now, I didn't make much money at the time when I first got involved with it, but it taught me some key business principles that I still use today, because network marketing taught me how to talk to people. It taught me how to hire people, because in the business you got to know how to hire people, you got to know how to manage people, and so it gave me that beginning foundation. Uh, and my first experience in that industry was through Primerica Financial Services. And sometimes when people say that, people have all type of negative stuff to say, and I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for Primerica, I wouldn't have my insurance license. Okay. They're the ones that came to me and opened up my eyes about the insurance industry. So my first mentor, which was an excellent mentor, he the one that trained me gave me my first shot and opportunity in the business. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have my agency, which I have today, Oars Financial Group and All Assurance, are the two agencies that I own. I wouldn't have those today if it wasn't for me being exposed through that particular vein. So I think it gets a lot of bad rep. But talk about a little bit about network marketing, kind of what lessons it kind of taught you that you kind of still apply today. Not saying that we promote network marketing, anything like that, but just so people could understand that it's a journey. Entrepreneurship is a journey. Right. And so you got to go through some things you got to go through some things in order to get where you want to get. So it's a journey, and you're going to have a couple of stops along the way. But each stop, what I tell people is that you learn something. Don't look at things as a negative experience. Look at take the positive out of it and apply it and apply it at your next stop on this journey. So talk about maybe some of those things that you learned from that experience.
Well, I agree with you. To me, it's the journey. It's not the negative or positive is how you look at it. To me, it's not the negative, because it's what most people look at as negative. I look at as the experience. I look at it all as a positive, because it's something that I've learned along the way. Even if it didn't happen positively, it's something that I know what not to do again, or what I learn how to do better the next time. So network marketing has taught me a lot. It definitely personal growth, development, business growth, networking, how to establish a network of friends, because your network is your net worth, right? How to create circles of friends, how to scale. And it's really business development if we think about it. And it's just the name that gives it a bad rap. And like you said, I think it's more people, bad actors, but you have bad actors in corporate America, and
A
people
lot of them.
scale that down, right?
Right.
And it's just like I tell people, it has a bad rap because of the bad actors, just like people say they don't like salespeople. But I actually tell people, do you not like salespeople, or do you not like the sales process and how it made you feel because of the decision that you made that may not like the outcome of the decision that you made again? So it's an emotional feel that people really don't like. And at the end of the day, people don't like that negative emotional effect. Network marketing, it's like anything else. It's gonna pull out in you what were you willing to work in it. If you're willing to work it, it will work. If you're not willing to work, It won't.
Well,
It's just
that's
simple.
anything.
That's
Yeah,
anything. And
that's in any
so it's
business.
just
Yeah.
not going to cushion those who want to play with it. And that's just it. And I don't put it any other way. I don't excuse it. It gave me whatever I put into it. And that was it.
That was it.
You know,
What you get in, what you put in is
what
what you
you
get out.
what you put in is what you get out. I've experienced a lot of wonderful trips. I gave it a lot of sacrifice, and sometimes it worked, and sometimes it
Sometimes it
didn't.
didn't.
And when I saw it didn't, all right, next.
Next, on
On
with the
to the
journey,
next one,
right? On with the journey. So uh let's talk about some of those struggles. And because I think a lot of times in entrepreneurship, people don't talk about the struggle. A lot of times we just hear the end story.
Yeah.
Um, and when I talk to people about entrepreneurship, they want to talk about the end story, and they don't want to talk about, really, they don't want to hear about the journey. And so, due to social media, a lot of things is just, lifestyle is promoted out there. But I think we need to talk more about the struggle, about the struggles that come to get to that level of success. And so, and you had some struggles, early on in life, being a young single mom, raising your family, and I know personally you're a rock of your family. You that cornerstone. A lot of people don't know, but talk about some of you trying to uh, get this entrepreneur thing right, but you got a family to take care of. You know what I'm saying? You putting that responsibility on your back, and being a female in business. Most businesses you've been in is predominantly male dominated, and I know sometimes that could be a challenge, particularly for women. But talk a little bit about those struggles and how those struggles kind of help shape you.
Um, it it did just that. It helped shape into a better person, a stronger person, a person with greater work ethics, no excuses, and a person with high standards and definitely strong belief in prayer
Mm.
and faith in God. For me personally, because you, you have them.
Mm.
You have them.
Mm.
There's definitely struggles, days that you're there crying alone because it's only you. You do the best, you do everything you can, everything that it says for you to do, you follow the exact guidance, the exact steps, you make the calls. And in entrepreneurship, you go to your friends and family initially, like, and they're the first ones you're not supposed to go to, because they see you as who they just see you as. They don't see you as the business person,
Right.
as the dreamer, as the one with that bigger vision in your mind and eyes, is what you really aspire. They see you as the one that you kicking it around with on the sofa or in the park or wherever you grew up with. They don't see that bigger vision that you have, so they don't see everything that you see, so they can't really vision what you vision, so they're not feeling the dream and the aspiration. So when you go to them, they're not going to say yes right away.
Mm.
you know they're the ones that they have to see it to believe it. So sometimes you do have to step outside of your comfort zone and go to like-minded people and go somewhere else and find that. So but then that's the struggle within, right? Because that makes you step out of your comfort zone to do something different. So it makes you step out of your, step into that fear level and step out of that fear. So it's a lot of torn. So you do have a lot of struggles of emotion, struggle financially, struggles of setbacks. Like you try so much. And as a woman, it is a male dominated industries in both corporate America and in network marketing. And so you sometimes there's a lot of things that you have to fight there, but you keep pressing on and you get through. So yes, as a woman, you definitely have had to gone through, but the statistics still show that if you keep pressing on, the majority of women that make over $100,000 a year, they do it in network marketing. So it's really consistency.
Mm.
So, I'm not gonna knock the game. It's just what you choose to be consistent in, and is it for you? And sometimes it depends on each person's variable, what they have going on at the moment. Sometimes it's not for you and what you particularly have going on at the moment. Somebody else could, because maybe they didn't have a child or XYZ happening at that particular moment in time, so they could press on. They could do it. It was just them they were taking care of, or they didn't have another variable, to consider. They didn't have a mother, daughter, sister, and everybody else. Or sometimes, yes, they did that, but they had other options, other finances, other things to assist. So, sometimes that's why you can't judge or don't know people's actual struggles of what they're dealing with at the moment, or maybe it's also medical. So you just don't judge, but you keep on pushing through until you get to the right one. And that's why when you're an entrepreneur, you just don't stop. You keep on going until you find the right fit, because eventually it's gonna burst. It's gonna break through.
It's gonna break through. Hustle don't stop, the grind don't sleep.
No.
Hey. So let's talk a little bit about where you at right now and what you're doing. Of course, today the big conversation, and I know y'all been waiting to hear this, is AI. AI this, AI that. AI is about to take over. AI is about to take all the jobs. AI is about to take all the business. So let's talk a little bit about AI. So I know recently, in our conversations over the last months and stuff, you've been training and studying AI. So tell us a little bit about that, about currently what you're doing right now, and just a little bit about AI, because I think everybody hears it, but I think a lot of people still really don't understand it. So elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, I got into AI about last August or so. I was looking into something for my fiance's business. We were trying to figure out how to scale his business, and
Shout out to David. That's my tax man. If y'all need some taxes,
global
that's
accounting solutions.
Global Accounting Solution, because I got to give my man a shout out. Y'all need y'all taxes done. If you're an entrepreneur, please don't get in tax trouble, right? So if you need somebody to help you with the taxes, inbox me and I'll be happy, to give you his information. But go ahead.
So yeah, so we were looking for something to scale his business,
Right.
because that's his compliance side, but he himself is in the strategic advisory side of it, because he has two divisions of that services. One is compliance and one is strategic advisory, and that's the side that he personally now just focuses on. His staff focuses on the compliance, the tax preparing side, and there's two divisions. So we were scaling that other division, and AI came about. So as we were researching, I was researching two companies, and I was like, like you said, everybody's talking about AI. And I too was trying to figure out, what is my next chapter? What am I going to do? Um, because I had stopped working at the sheriff office, and I wanted to know, outside of my real estate investment, what else am I going to do now? And this really intrigued me, because I love technology too. Also, as I was going to right out of my apologies, but right out of high school, the next thing outside of law that I really was fascinated about was programming, computer programming. So that was another interest of mine. So when AI came about, I was like, oh my God, my eyes just lit up. And he saw how fascinated I became with the different things they could do. And I kept on looking at it. And so I researched two companies, and I came across Alicia Little and AI Innovision. And I kept on looking at her, and I was like, and I researched her, and I was like, and I had seen her before. She had came across, and I had looked at her videos before and her TED talk. And I kept on seeing it. And I was like, and I looked at it real deep, and I looked at her one night, and I just, how sometimes some sticks to you, and you're up all night looking at something on YouTube, and it just sticks to you. So I stayed up all night. I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And then I got into and I showed, I said, this is it. This is my next chapter. I want to get into, I want to be AI certified. And he was like, yeah, he saw my eyes. He said he lit up. And I was like, this is the next thing. And so I went to her, I got registered. I went to her event right there at the RIC Center, right there, the Russell Innovation Center, right across the street from Pascal.
Pascal's my favorite restaurant.
And so I went there to her event and I got registered to become a certified AI consultant. And from there, I took on and I have not looked back because it's not that the future is coming, the future was already here. We didn't realize how much we were already using AI. And the approach that she takes in how she teaches, I too was a little bit like, I wouldn't say hesitant, but so my fear was, I haven't been in school in so long. Am I going to grasp this? Because I'm a hands-on learner.
Yeah.
And I was so happy that she was here locally because I'm like, oh yes, she's here in Atlanta. I can go to class. I can reach if I have a question. And because that's just how I learned. So I was appreciative and I was like, yes, I'm getting in this course right now. And then, but again, some setback. My mom got ill. She was in the hospitals quite a bit during that last quarter. But praise God, I got better. But then my focus came back again. And my mind was always on it. And that's when you're passionate about something, right? And so I stayed focused. I finally got certified. And it's just I wake up with I go to sleep with AI because what people don't understand is not here to replace you if you understand how to use it. So what I tell people, it is human intelligence, HI, with AI, artificial intelligence. So if you use it together and you use it as a thought partner, it can really amplify your whether it's your personal life and work ethics or your business operations. It really can streamline your operational system and it can make your life easier. You just really have to learn how to use it better and not use it like you're Googling.
So let's talk a little bit about AI because you said something. You could use AI to enhance your personal life and your business life. Give me an example of each. How AI can kind of help you in your one area. AI could help you in your personal life, and an area maybe it could help you in your business life.
Well, in your personal life, I'm gonna give you two quick synopsis here. In your personal life, like let's say if you're looking to you know, personally, let's say if you wanted to help yourself clean up your emails, you can do a quick prompt or agent to help clean up your personal emails. Or let's say if you wanted to run yourself a diet plan. Also, I'm going to tell you quick personally, I use ChatGPT to help assist and advocate for my sister who spent 20 days minimum in Piedmont Hospital. And I advocated for her. They thought she had a medical advisor while she was there.
Wow.
And I advocated for her. They were about to rush her out of the hospital. And me and ChatGPT were able to respond to them and advocate for her, and they did not rush her out. They kept her in there and thoroughly treated her.
Wow.
I also was able to use ChatGPT to help and assist in the appeal of her Social Security and got it approved.
Wow. So you didn't have to spend all that money on those lawyers.
She had an attorney, and the attorney said, we don't know what we did, but the adjudicator approved it with this application than before.
Wow. And AI helped with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And
Wow.
she got tier 1 and 2
Wow. Wow.
in Social Security disability.
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
your personal life.
Hmm.
And this was her second go round.
Wow. So AI. So listen, because there's a lot of people out there that struggle to get their disability, right? And fighting to get the health care that they need. And oftentimes, you have to go out and get an attorney. And of course, if the attorney win the case, they get a big chunk of the money, which people really need really need that money.
So I'm not going to say that attorneys aren't useful. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying, if you learn how to use the tools, you can advocate for yourself.
You could advocate for
So
yourself. Right.
with AI, I'm advocating for everybody to learn how to use AI properly.
Wow.
And it's really is how you think with it. And it's all about prompting. So if you prompt it right and if you talk to it right, it will spit out right. So it's almost like garbage in, garbage out. But if you really put in what it's supposed to and how you're supposed to talk to it, you will be unbelievable of what you can come up. I was able to, on a business side, as what I was mentioning to you, build an operating system for professional services, for financial services, for tax services, insurance services, law firm, and health professional services on a scale of the Fortune 500. Now they can operate just like them on a small scale.
On a small cap. Wow. AI does a lot. Hey, and I use it on what they say AI first. Is that kind of like the thing I hear people say? Because I use it every day, all day, on everything. And of course, always giving you a call. And let me tell you something, y'all. Y'all give her a call to talk about AI. She'll probably talk to you for about 5 hours, right? Because she that's how you know somebody's truly passionate about what they do. So you talked a little bit about prompting, because that's really one of the keys, or I would say the foundation to output is prompting. I think a lot of folks, they go to AI, they put in something real vague, really don't get the output or the answers they desire. Just share with us a little bit about prompting effectively, how to become better at prompting.
Well, again, like I said, it just depends on what you're working on, right? So you really have to tell it what you want. So let's say, everybody's chasing, oh, I got to get on this, I got to get on that. You really need to think strategically about how to use the tool best. Like for instance, in my real estate, I'll tell chat, act as the top real estate investor in the country and search for XYZ property in this area and tell me where I can find and this property in this amount in this and what's the ROI on my return. So it's you got to tell it what you want and what the outcome that you're looking for. So or for females, right? um like right now, and I'm going to just get a little bit personal. Let's say we all know Dr. Mary Claire, she's a hormonal doctor, female hormone. Act as your Dr. Mary Claire. What would she say about this female hormonal therapy that's out there now? And chat will talk to you. Well, Dr. Mary Claire would say this, that, the other. And it talks to you. So that's what I'm saying. You have to, it's your thought partner. It acts as the top insurance company in the country. What is the top topics are right now? What are the number one carriers talking about in the insurance industry for um uh life insurance or
Yeah.
death benefits or whatever you're want to talk
Whatever your
about
product is.
what
Right.
the product is. So
Right.
you basically are telling it to act as those top carriers, and how are they working it right now, and spitting out what you want to know.
I want to know. Okay.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this last question. I'm gonna ask you on AI here, but what is the big misconception about AI?
I would say the biggest misconception is they're going to take over all of our jobs. They're going to take over the jobs of the people who don't take the time to learn how to use AI to their advantage.
Mm.
That's what I would say the biggest misconception. And for our, I would say, demographic, we need to get on it. And I'm both African American as well as I'm Hispanic. We need to get on it.
Need to get out.
We need to not play with it. Our demographic needs to get involved, and we need to learn how to utilize it as a tool and not just play with the graphics of it, but really need to learn how to create businesses with it. I want to say it was Meek Mills just sold a product worth multi-million dollars worth. Some of us are utilizing it to the top, if not multi-millions or more. I want to say it was probably more, but I don't want to misquote the revenue amount if it wasn't a billion. But some of us are actually utilizing it properly and building applications and systems and beyond. You'll be amazed at the type of applications that you can build with AI, because once you start with one thing, it helps to expand the mind. And that's what people don't realize. If you do a brain dump into it, and you know me, I tell you, don't just use one. ChatGPT was first to market, but use Claude, use Google. Don't sleep on Google. Gemini.
Hey, I'm a Gemini, so I
Yeah.
understand. We
Use
almost in
all of
Gemini
them.
season. Yeah.
Use all of them. Tap into
Yeah.
all of them.
Right.
They all have their perks and benefits. Perplexity as well. Use all of them. Learn the different tools. There's some out there, I'm not gonna use for personal reasons, and I'm not gonna mention it as an agent, as a consultant, but just know which ones are best. And if you don't know how to use them, tell the tool, hey, this is my first time. Teach me how I can use you. I don't know how. It will tell you.
Hmm.
The tool will tell you. Walk me through step by step. The tool will tell you, and it will walk you through step by step. Don't be fearful of it. Just do it.
Just do it. So, last question before we close out here. Where do Trace, and I ask everybody, it's all my guests, where do you see yourself at in the next 5 or 10 years?
Oh, I'm a multimillionaire living on the islands. And I'm not laughing. I'm serious with that. No, AI, by next year, I will have several different companies with my AI Blueprint Studio. That's the name of my company. But I also have real estate investment. So I don't expect to just be here. My company is global. That's the thing with AI, I can be international. That's why I'm telling people figured out something to do with AI, because you're not just here in the United States, you're international with it. And you can go internationally. Look at the state of where we are today in the United States of America. This is a global opportunity. This is not a US opportunity. You can be a millionaire with AI. It just depends on how you use it. Also, investments, but look at the markets. The markets are changing. Okay. AI can help expand whatever business that you're in. It really can. It really can. I mean that sincerely. If we learn how to utilize it properly, no matter the business, it can help scale you beyond belief tenfolds. But you need to be strategic with it, okay, and learn how to use it. So 5 years from now, heck, 1 to 2 years from now, yeah, I'm on different islands, different properties with my AI Blueprint Studio, as well as my real estate investments and other opportunities.
Well, how can people contact you? Because I'm quite sure they want to be on an island too, and I want to be on island too as well. But if someone wants to reach out to you to contact you, to consult with you, and know y'all, she not free. Okay, because we got to get out of that free mode. But she has a wealth of knowledge. She has a good heart. So, but definitely. But if someone wants to reach out to you to see how they could utilize your services, how can they contact and reach out to you?
You can go to aiblueprintstudio.com. I do have for business owners, I have a free 20-minute discovery call. You do have to fill out a form. Tell me about your business so I can strategize with you and tell you how we can scale and optimize your business. We do have a consultation call as well. And then from there, we can give you a plan of action. But if you go to aiblueprintstudio.com, we will definitely set an appointment and book a time to talk to you. You can also reach me on all the social handles at Trace Godoy and on LinkedIn, Trace Godoy.
Yes. And spell that for them, Trace.
Trace, Trace, last name Godoy.
Well, thank you, Tracy. Trace, I call her Tracy. You know,
Yes.
we say that in New Orleans, everybody call her Trace. But thank you, Miss Trace, for being on Insure Your Success podcast and really sharing your story and what you're currently doing right now. And hopefully I could be on that island too, or some type of island too as well. But I appreciate you. Appreciate your journey. I admire your journey. Much success to you. Congratulations once again. And I definitely appreciate all the information that you have shared with me personally, as well as inviting me into your family. But I truly appreciate that. So, with that being said, this is Ortez with Insure Your Success. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace out.